Hey there, and welcome back to A Conspiracy of Gods, a custom 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign written and produced by me, DeRay. I'm your DM, and we're about to meet the players. But before we do, I want to offer a very special thank you to Matthew Wexler, the exceptionally talented man that recorded the music you'll hear in this episode and all of the other ones. They were tracks composed specifically for us here at A Conspiracy of Gods, and we are very thankful. Now, let's get back to those players, shall we?
Hi, I'm Chris. I play Calcifer, Fortune in the Mountain. He's a cleric.
I'm Brendan. I play Zan Aura, the half-orc artificer.
I am Casey. I play Sarathiel Urudir. She's an elven druid.
I'm Joel. I play Fitzwilliam Halifax, halfling extraordinaire, lover of people, and patron of the arts. He's a bard.
Definitely what I was expecting. Wave consistently.
Thunderwave everything. Okay.
I'm sorry, I just saw a spell that I could have, and I need to find out more.
Oh dear God. What spell did you see?
It's not my fault this time.
This time.
Shut up.
How's your sandwich, Megan?
It's fucking delicious, okay?
What kind of sandwich is it?
It's a tuna sandwich from Subway.
I'm tuna myself.
Oh my, baby.
I had the new Italian, or the Italian hero, whoever the hell.
Nice.
Italian something.
Have you determined your spell?
I think I have.
Alright. So we
God.
can get started.
Yup.
Okay. So, last week, you guys... Let's see here. You guys took out some creepy magic things that then kind of evaporated after you killed them. You murdered a gnomish assassin. You signed some affidavits for Calador Reth about what you heard in Calak-Dur from the dwarven noble you found there. You signed those with your name and with a drop of blood.
Well, okay, some of us signed with our name.
Well, Fitzwilliam signed with a name.
Yep.
And his blood.
I did not put my blood on there.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did.
You did.
No, I didn't.
Jinx.
I most certainly did not. That is not how Fitzwilliam works.
I'm going to say, guys, he didn't do that.
Okay.
That's why I was curious why you didn't call him on it.
Because I missed it, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, shit. That's alright. He's got 3 others that are usable. Anywho. So you guys did that, and then you left Hathdorian after Calcifer got a package and a note from Calador, which he has not informed any of the rest of the group of. So none of you know he has that, except for Sarathiel, who saw the package and the note, but not what's in it.
Useless.
Yeah.
Yep, that's me.
So you guys left Hathdorian, you went back to Sadrahill to get your horses, you went to McSweeten's shop of sweets, where you saw Hugbot with his new arm, who I believe gave Fitzwilliam a hug. Pretty sure that
Yeah.
but didn't really want to spend a lot of time with you guys because he's trying to recover from his trauma, and you guys kind of remind him of some very dark times in his life.
Gun shy.
And in McSweeten's sweet shop, you saw that they were renovating, and the sign said, "Welcome to Hugbots and McSweetens." Or Hugs and
Cute.
McSweetens, whichever.
Cute.
You guys got your horses. Fabio was very happy to see.
Hell yeah, she was.
See Sarathiel. Winifred was a little indignant that Fitzwilliam had left her alone for so long.
As she should be.
And Calcifer, what is the name of Calcifer's horse?
Howl.
Powell?
Howl.
Howl.
Like Howl's Moving Castle.
Yes. Yeah.
Correct.
Howl was very proper. He was very, acting as a good war horse should, but also very happy to see Calcifer. Milo's old horse was renamed to something.
Angelina Ballerina.
Angelina Ballerina, yes. And basically taken over by Zahn, who rode her. I believe it was a her. I
don't think we knew the horse's gender either, so...
That's all right. It happened.
It's a her now.
So you guys took your horses to Cherosgon. There wasn't really... nothing of note happened. There were a few small incidents with the bloodlust that managed to be controlled, and, same old, same old. You rode through a thunderstorm or two, but, not a big deal in general. You made it to the Thanish capital. You made it to Cherosgon. And got to the city.
Yep, we did.
To some fanfare and a lot of very, very happy people. Because the prodigal daughter had returned to the city.
Hi!
And
hey, guys!
Everyone was absolutely ecstatic that Sarathiel had returned to the city. There were flowers being thrown and flower petals, and trumpets were flaring, and a group of young soldiers in training knelt before her and are still kneeling just inside the gate.
It's fine.
The other 4 members of the Red Hand showed up. The Lord of the City showed up. And someone may have started a chant for speech from Sarathiel. Possibly.
You're welcome.
Possibly, maybe. Nope, you're not. No.
However, Sarathiel was saved from the fate of having to give a speech by Captain Almith of the Red Hand. And yes, Casey, I renamed all of them.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And
so they're looking at me.
Yes.
How are Calcifer and Zahn handling this situation? I know Fitzwilliam is kind of like blending in with the crowd and summoning rose petals, correct?
With a little bit of malicious glee, yeah.
Okay.
Asshole.
I think Zahn was waving to the crowd,
Yes.
if I remember right.
Yes.
So, still waving. This is all about me.
Yeah.
And
Calcifer has a big horn of that long hammer out, sipping on it and giving some to Xavier.
But you're just drinking.
Xavier is actually flying around, and every now and then he comes back to you and gets a sip of the long hammer. But you see him flying around, and every now and then you'll see like someone in the crowd trip, or someone's hat get pulled off, or something like that. And every time it happens, you hear Xavier giggle and then fly back to you. So
Okay, so I have a grin as he's doing all this.
you actually see. Hang on.
What the?
You see Xavier fly in front of you for a minute, where the Master of the City is also kind of walking along with the rest of the Red Hand, and you see his silver gilded helm rise off his head as Xavier reappears. And he carries the helm to the tallest building he can find that's not the tower, and he drops it on the peak of it and giggles the entire time.
I want one.
Calcifer has a smirk on his face the entire time.
And the Master of the City is like patting his head, and he's like, where's my helmet? And he's kind of freaking out and making a scene. And But eventually, you guys get to the Black Tower, this imposing 400-foot tall, basically just flat cylinder. This thing, you don't see any joints on it, you don't see any bricks or anything like that, but you see that it is scorched black. This thing did not start black, something came and scorched this thing black. And you walk through a semi-solid barrier. It's like the door or the wall into the tower is like semi there, semi not, and you pass through that. It's a very strange feeling.
Sarathiel kind of like pauses before she walks in, and she seems to be like collecting herself, and then she does follow.
Okay. So as you walk through this barrier, it kind of tingles across your skin, and it raises the hairs on your arms and the backs of your neck. And once you get inside, you see huge shelves of books lining the interior walls. And you see behind those and in between those books, the walls are a brilliant, almost watery silver, with shifting patterns of energy and force beneath the surface of the wall. And Calcifer, roll intelligence.
That was 11.
All right. So you see these walls, and you realize right away that these walls are solid mithril.
You want to tell anybody?
I walk up to the walls and pat on them.
All right. As you touch it, you can feel, the standard texture of mithril, very smooth, very cool to the touch. But you can also feel like this vibration and this thrumming within the mithril itself, as though it's just conducting a bunch of magical energy all throughout the tower.
I turn and look to the guys and go, "Blimey!
Blimey!
This here is be mithril." They're not.
You also notice that there are no tool marks in this. It doesn't look like it was, smithed or set or anything like that. It's perfectly flat. It's perfect.
So, let's see. Who's the king of the guard again, or boss of the guard?
Captain Alnith is the captain of the Red Hand. You aren't really sure. You're not really certain what the political structure of Cherosgon is, but you have guessed that the Red Hand's pretty important.
And do I know his name?
No. And it's
okay. Got it. Hey.
Okay. So within the tower, you see scattered about several young people, all wearing emerald-colored robes. Most of them are deeply buried in books and tomes. They appear to be studying, if you had to guess. And above you, you see a winding path that appears perfectly flat and smooth. And you see other people slightly older wearing pearl-colored robes. And the master of the city kind of pisses off in his own direction. He's got things to do. He bows to Sarathiel as he leaves and then just kind of walks off to do his own thing.
Sounds gonna smirk and say, "Good luck with your helmet."
The master of the city looks at Zahn, and at first he looks angry, and then he just looks really, really sad.
Oh. Sarathiel, fix it.
I didn't do it.
I'm not going to undo it.
Okay. The 4 members of the Red Hand lead you, while drawing several interested glances from the students within the tower, to that path you saw that kind of winds its way upward. And as soon as all of you step on it, it actually starts gliding upward. So you don't actually have to climb this 400-foot tower. It automatically takes you up the levels.
Oh, thank God.
Finally, a tower with an elevator.
I feel like it's more like an escalator. Magic escalator.
Do we really need to have this discussion?
Yes.
Floor.
And the members of the Red Hand don't really say anything as you guys rise through the tower. They occasionally look at Sarathiel and they smile warmly. But they actually get off of the path a few stories before the top in what Sarathiel remembers as what is essentially the headquarters of the Red Hand. But they kind of motion you guys to stay on the path, and apparently you have an appointment with someone at the top of the tower.
I love appointments. Let's go.
As you rise, you see more people dressed in darker robes. They're getting older and older as you rise up the tower. Most of these people have very thick, very, very old tomes spread open before them. They're all taking notes and making interesting noises like, yes, indeed, of course, well, as they are taking notes.
Please tell me Xavier is screwing with these people.
Oh yeah, every now and then.
Thank God.
Every now and then Xavier flies off and you see him pick up a tome and he shifts it levels, or he grabs people's quills. You see him knock over an inkwell here and there. You do know that he never intentionally harms a book. If he steals it, he's very gentle with it. If he knocks over an inkwell, he does it in such a way that it won't spill on the book. But yes, he's constantly screwing with all of these people. And you hear cries of alarm and ups and frustration and just surprise as you rise through the tower.
He's a well-mannered dragon thief.
Like him.
He actually flies back and drops a perfectly clear quartz inkwell in Calcifer's hand. It's empty, but it's clear quartz. And then he flies off again.
I say thank you quietly under my breath as I put it in my bag.
Yeah, he's off causing more mischief. And you guys riding along this pathway, you reach the top of the Black Tower, and you find that the path stops directly next to a spiral stairwell upward. It looks maybe one flight of stairs. And overhead at the end of the stairwell, you see a semi-translucent trap door. And you really don't see anywhere else to go. This path stops, and then there's the stairwell, and there's really nothing else.
I feel lied to.
Hold on, has Sarathiel been here before?
She has not been to the top of the tower, no. Sarathiel does not know what's up here.
I feel lied to. Why only go part way? It completely defeats the purpose of elevation changing technology.
It's one flight of stairs.
So doesn't mean it's dumb. It's not dumb. Jeez. Yeah. Well, where are the guards motioning us to go?
There are no more guards. There's
No
no
more
guards
guards?
around you.
We're not being escorted anymore.
Nope.
Okay,
The
Fitzwilliam. Oh, what's that?
The Red Hand got off probably 4 stories below you.
Okay. Fitzwilliam walks over to the translucent trapdoor and looks down.
It's an upward translucent
Oh,
door.
upward,
It's at the top
okay.
of the stairs. Yeah.
At the top of the stairs. Okay. He walks up to it and looks up then.
You are starting to see like a bowed ceiling, and then suddenly you just have this vision of copper as a head pops through the trapdoor. The head is upside down, and Fitzwilliam, you have a bunch of copper hair in your head. Not in your head, in your face. Just kind of sitting there. And the other three of you see this head turn around a couple of times, and then it kind of like stops for a moment, and then you hear some clattering or something above you, and the head turns all the way around to look at you, as though presumably the body it's attached to turned. It struggles briefly. You see some hands trying to contain the long copper locks that have broken away from the black velvet headband the head is wearing. And when this person manages to contain her hair, Fitzwilliam, you see the most beautiful face you'll have ever seen in all of your life. And the other three of you see the same thing. This face looks at the four of you, quirks a smile, and says, "Don't you know it's polite to knock?" And then she disappears back up the trapdoor.
Fitzwilliam is intrigued, so he knocks on the trapdoor.
Sarathiel mutters under her breath, no, he doesn't know how to knock.
Fitzwilliam and the other three of you hear, "Come on in!"
Okay, I go in.
All right.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, so you guys find yourself in the apex chamber. You're surrounded by ironwood bookshelves packed to bursting with tomes of varying ages. In the center of the room, you see a pedestal of iron topped with a teardrop about the size of a pear that seems to be made out of, if you had to guess, diamond? The woman whose head you saw is standing in front of a long table covered in magical apparati and thick tomes that are kind of all cracked open to different pages. She's wearing a jerkin, the color of dark pine needles, and light gray trousers with the black leather riding boots. And you see around her neck a small black iron amulet. And I want some perception rolls.
Okie dokie.
That is a 13 from me.
Okay.
What do I add to this?
Proficiency. Well, if you are proficient, hang on. Give me 1
I
second.
don't think I am.
On roll 20, there should be a number next to it, and that's what you add or subtract.
1. Yeah, you add 1.
Just one.
15 for me.
19 for Zahn.
Okay.
11.
All right. So, Sarathiel and Zahn, well, the two of you see that on this amulet is an engraving that depicts a snake with a baby's head in its mouth.
Oh, shit.
Sarathiel, you realize that this is identical to the other two amulets you're carrying. Well, that Fitzwilliam is carrying.
Can I, nudge at Fitzwilliam and, nod to at the amulet to, make him notice it?
Yes, but this woman sees you doing so.
Okay. Let's still do it.
Okay. So, Fitzwilliam, you can roll perception again with advantage.
Okay. Well, that first one was a 2, and the second one was a 4. I am too distracted.
No.
By the beauty.
You don't see anything. This woman is standing there, and she kind of looks across all four of you, and then she walks over to Sarathiel, looks her up and down, and says, "Well, hey there."
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm much better now that you're here.
I'd like to point out that Sarathiel has no idea that this woman is flirting with her.
Roll intelligence.
Oh, come on. I want it to be fun. God damn it. It's a 20. Non-natural.
Sarathiel, you know that this is unusual social behavior.
Counselor takes his hammer and puts it on the ground and leans up against the handle of it. Watches this begin.
Sarathiel, you know this is unusual because it never happens to you.
Aww.
Oh, wow.
That's way sadder than I think you meant that to come out.
No, it's okay.
No, it's fine, really.
So
Is that your title, Sarathiel the Unloved?
Sad face.
So this woman is standing next to Sarathiel, and for a moment, she actually gets distracted and strides in basically 2 steps over to Calcifer, and completely ignoring the fact that Calcifer is there, begins scratching Xavier on the head and behind the ears and basically giving him a lot of pets. And Calcifer, you feel him start to purr.
Good pets for the dragon.
Good thing you're making this one happy.
She looks down at Calcifer and says, "Oh, why is that?"
You'll find out if you don't. Or let's say you won't.
That was really cryptic.
And she walks
Yeah, that
back.
sounded kind of sinister.
She walks back up over to Sarathiel and she says, "What can I do to induce you to go to dinner with me?"
Well, Sarathiel, I think Sarathiel may have finally realized what's going on, and she's like blushing.
I would just like to point out that the woman whose name you still don't know just rolled an 18 on charisma, so you found that very charming.
This bitch.
She's also completely ignoring everyone else, but Fitzwilliam, she is now close enough for you to see the engraving on the amulet, and Calcifer, you got a good look at it too. Zahn, you've already seen it, but you really don't know its relevance.
True story.
I mean, your character doesn't know it either.
Excellent.
I want to see this play out. So I say, yes, Sarathiel. What would that be?
I think it'd be a good option for you to go out.
Well,
I think you two would have a lovely time.
Yes.
The woman turns to the two of you and she says, "Hush, hush, this is her decision."
The decision's made.
Zan's gonna chime in. Well, it'd be nice for her to know your name.
"Oh, I'm so sorry. That's so rude of me. My name is Yustin Mai."
Yastin. Okay.
It's a family name.
Sarathiel gives like a little bow, and she says, Sarathiel Urdir.
Darling.
Okay. Well, I figure it was polite anyway.
I'm not much for politeness most times.
Oh?
Fitzwilliam hears this and he, his esteem of her drops just a little bit inside.
Okay.
Noted.
He needs a classy bitch.
Can you repeat her name for a second?
Yastin Mai.
Okay. I don't want to forget it later.
That is a first name and a last name. Her first name.
Yeah,
is
I
I tried to find a play on words in there, and I couldn't. I really wanted there to be one.
As she's kind of waiting, she finally says, "Well, you go ahead and you think about it. What can I do for all y'all now that you're up here? Why are you here?"
Well, the other members of the Red Hand did tell us to...
Oh, you're a member of the Red Hand. I thought I knew all of them.
A long time ago, yes.
Oh, yes, of course. Of course.
Are you okay there, Megan?
Yep.
Brief oxygen is good.
Okay.
I went way gutter for a second. Hold on. Oh, carry on.
No, you can mute your mic if you need to. Just don't yell too loud, because then you'll hear it through mine.
Fitzwilliam, Yastin notices you kind of staring at her amulet, and she lifts it up and she looks at you and she says, "Interested in my amulet, are you?"
I always appreciate striking accessories.
This
Good
old
for
thing,
you.
I only wear it because I have to. They're given to the Grand Masters. It's not like I had a choice. Of course, we've only got the two of them, so...
Well, could you tell me a little bit more about these Grand Masters? I'm unfortunate enough to not know much about these things.
Roll persuasion.
Okay. That is a nat 20.
Okay. She says to you, well, since you are being so polite, these amulets are given to the Grand Masters of the Tower when we are made Grand Masters. Unfortunately, there's only 2 acting Grand Masters right now. One being myself. The other is a master in nature magic. She's off on some adventure or other. I never know. But these come down from the Second Empire. They were the Magisters. Unfortunately, the Tower only has 2 of them, so there's really only 2 Grand Masters at a time.
I see.
You can't make more?
Well, these are more symbolic than anything. They're not really magical, but they date back all the way to the First Empire. They've just been around magic for so long that they're kind of sentimental. It's tradition.
Now, there's a very striking emblem on there. Does that mean anything in particular, or is that just a symbol of the Grand Masters?
Oh, I really wouldn't know. These were made back during the First Empire, and we really don't know who made them or why. Just that they date back. Those records have been lost for a long, long time.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing.
Rumor has it there used to be 5, at least 5 of these amulets, but after the fall of the Second Empire, we really only had 2 left. We don't know where the other 3 got off to.
Wonder where the missing ones could be.
That's a good question. Why? Have you come across any?
I mean, I think I would remember anything like that.
Roll bluff. Or deception.
That's not a lie.
No, but it's suspicious.
Okay, well, that is a 17.
Okay. Unfortunately, Yastin rolled a nat 20.
Jesus.
Oh, damn.
And she looks at you and she says, "What aren't you telling me, hon?"
I may have seen something similar throughout my travels.
She immediately perks up and she says, "Oh, where? We've been looking for these all over the place for years."
I thought they were symbolic.
Well, yeah, but it's tradition. We want to have all of them so we can have more Grand Masters. It helps with the teaching and gaining magical knowledge.
Well, have you heard of Last Havens in Ebelis?
She turns and she looks at a map for a second and she taps a finger and she says, "Well, yeah, I've never been there myself, but I know it exists."
We encountered something similar to this over there.
Really? Where was it?
It was in this cave. I don't know the specific location on the map. The map doesn't really have it marked.
Yeah. She takes this information and she says, "Well, what was it doing in there?"
I can tell you, I have no idea.
"Well, how'd you find it? What was going on in the cave? You 4 don't seem like the type to just randomly wander into a cave."
Oh, so the cave, we were rescuing a local authority's daughter. She'd been kidnapped.
"Oh, yeah, I hear tell those Legates aren't real careful with their families."
Oh dear, I just misplaced my daughter. I think someone picked her up and walked off. Oh, whatever shall I do?
Sarathiel looks like she's caught between wanting to laugh at that and being horrified at herself for wanting to laugh at it.
And that is Fitzwilliam joking about that.
Yes. Yastin laughs. She thinks that was quite funny. She sees that Sarathiel is trying not to laugh. But then Yastin gets a little serious and she says, well, that still doesn't explain what it was doing in the cave, just what you were doing there.
Well, yeah, I told you. I'm not sure why it was in there.
Well, where did you find it? Was it just lying on the ground? Was it in a chest? Well, how'd you find it?
Where was it? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, I legit don't remember, so I can honestly say...
You pulled it off of Mork, the Orc Crusher's body.
Oh.
And hold on. She's insinuating that you have it now, the way she's talking.
I know.
Okay.
It was
Do we not want
attached to a figure that unfortunately won't be leaving that cave anytime soon.
As you say that, she looks worried. And she says to you, What was that figure doing? What was this person that you killed doing? What were they? She's not stupid. She knows that.
I know! I just like that she's just full on calling you out.
It kidnapped the daughter, like.
Yes, it did.
I don't know what you're expecting.
It was also leading the goblins and making them stronger.
Yeah, but...
Hang on one second, I have to plug in my headphones.
To what end we never found out.
I can't help you with this, I wouldn't hear yet.
Me neither.
She's just curious about the situation in which you found this.
It's been a long fucking while. This was our first few.
Yeah.
No, it was your first quest.
The literal first.
Talking first few recordings. Or not recordings, but sessions.
Yeah. And she says, well, did you find any others? I mean, if this is part of the 3 missing ones, and did you take it? Do you have it with you? What happened to it?
What happened to it?
Well, yeah.
I think there was some magic involved somewhere. I don't know. I'm honestly pretty cautious around magical items.
Roll bluff.
I am.
Yeah, but you know what happened to the amulet.
I didn't say I didn't.
You're obfuscating. It counts.
Yeah.
Damn it. Fell. Okay, that is a 25.
Alright. She looks at you and she says, well, that's terribly unfortunate. It would have been real nice if you'd brought it back. But I suppose what's done is done. Did you find any others?
Sound's gonna pipe up real fast. What would it mean to have all 5 back together? Does that...
Nothing important. They're just symbolic. They're old relics from this tower. You know, the First Empire built this tower. And, you know, we are part historian here at the university, at the tower.
I want to
make an insight check.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Seriously.
That's a 12.
That is a 16.
Okay. Both of you believe her.
Well, I rolled a 17.
You also believe her.
Damn it!
I'm out. I'm looking inside. I gotta pull up my character to do my flash again. $21.
You also believe her.
Sorry, Tony. Okay.
Which means she's either telling the truth or she's a hella good liar.
Calcer pipes up. So if we happen to come across one, would it be worth anything to you?
Well, if you're talking about selling it back, I'm sure we can come up with some form of compensation.
Okay.
But of course, they are the rightful property of this tower.
Man, the guilt on thick.
May I take a look at the one you have? to cross-reference?
Certainly. And she reaches behind her neck and she takes it off and hands it to you.
Okay.
And it's cold to the touch, just like the other two you've held.
Okay, that's really what I was looking for.
Okay.
I turn it around like I'm fake inspecting it and hand it back.
Okay. As it's in your hands, you feel something shift in your bag.
I quickly hand it back.
And she notices how quickly you hand it back, and she puts it back on, and she says, "Is there anything wrong?"
Say, it's cold to the touch.
Well, yeah, it's been around for a couple thousand years. It's been around magic that time. Gets a little residue on it. It's totally inert. Can't do nothing. It's just
an interesting manifestation.
Well, we're not terribly certain how the First Empire forged these.
Okay, so based off of when I had Identify and I used it on the amulet, and you said it's just an amulet with no particular magical qualities, I think that is indeed the case. So I pull one of the other amulets out of my bag.
Her eyes get really wide, and she says, Did you take that one? Where'd you get that? Was that the one you found in the cave?
Where did we find the other one?
Off the person we just...
Yeah. That's right.
On Terranix's body.
Wait, what about the ones from the darkness?
Yeah.
You didn't find any on the darkness.
I thought there was a weird amulet on one of the darkness things that we just fought, or the...
No, they had done something to pull the two amulets out of Fitzwilliam's bag.
Oh, yeah. That's what it was. Okay.
And they said these belong to us. Return them.
Yep.
I say, we found this outside of Sadra Hill. We thought it too much of a coincidence that we should come across a second one.
What was it? Who had it? What were they doing?
It was this nasty guy who seemed to be possessed of some mechanical qualities.
What was he doing? What was this nasty gentleman doing?
He was kind of a terrorist by trade.
Oh, wonderful.
She looks deeply worried. And she says... What does she say? She says, "So you're telling me that you have found two of these amulets, and both of them have been in the hands of some nefarious types?"
Yes.
And
what's it to you?
Well, there was a situation a while back here at the tower that was concerning at the time, and then we thought nothing of it later when nothing happened. But if you're telling me, the two of these amulets have been found in the hands of some less than acceptable types, then we have great cause to be worried.
Maybe that's something we can help you out with.
Oh, I doubt it.
Don't underestimate us.
Roll persuasion.
Great, that's the one thing I do.
I was about to say, I'm just going to touch you and add guidance to it.
Are you sure? Because right now I have a 30 rolled.
Jesus Christ!
Why not? Add 4 to it.
Okay, so that's a nat 20, which with my bonus becomes 30.
Jesus Christ.
Plus what?
Plus 4.
Just roll a d4.
Roll a d4. That's 31.
Okay.
You dip her in slow motion, a rope between your teeth.
Justin looks at the four of you, and her eyes kind of linger on Sarathiel for a moment.
Sarathiel blushes.
She locks eyes with Sarathiel for just a few seconds, and then she looks back at Fitzwilliam and she says, "Well, you have to understand that here, this tower is inherently magical, and we house apprentices. We teach magic, so that it might be used to advance knowledge and used for good in the world. But sometimes some of our apprentices can't rightly control their powers, and because of the nature of this tower, they become corrupted irreparably. It's very unfortunate, but it does happen. And in order to contain them for our good and their own good, because they're more than a little crazy and more than a little powerful, we put them into the dungeon that lies beneath this tower that's existed for thousands of years. It was there when this tower was built. And recently, some few months ago now, 3 of those unfortunate souls escaped our dungeon. We don't know how, as we thought that dungeon inescapable, but they made it out, and gods only know what they might be doing."
Do you think they might have found the other amulets?
It seems fair, seeing as only people here in this tower know that they exist. It's not exactly common knowledge.
Could you describe these 3 apprentices that escaped?
Well, I don't rightly know them personally, but I know they like to go around with dark cloaks and hoods. Most of the corrupted ones do. They think it's stylish or some such.
They're doing it for the aesthetic.
I just want to ask her for some sweet tea and a piece of pie.
And then she says, "I do know that you can recognize them if you make them bleed, that they've got black blood in them that's highly corrosive, as well as their normal blood. We're not real sure how that happens. We've been studying it, but haven't made a lot of headway."
Well, shit. Sound familiar, guys?
Yeah.
Yep. We encountered some individuals with the blood you described just a little while back.
She immediately steps over to Sarathiel and says, "Were you hurt? Are you okay?"
I'm fine.
Hand on the back of
you.
her head and goes, "And kiss."
Yasmin does not move or try to resist. She just stands there and sees how Sarathiel's going to react to Zahn pushing on her head.
She's blushing furiously. She cannot look Yastin in the face right now.
But does she try and resist the push, or is she gonna go in for the kiss?
She's resisting. No. She's resisting just enough.
Contest.
Oh my god! For fuck's sake, she's trying to resist just enough to not be pushed into Yastin's face, but she's not throwing herself backwards or anything.
Fitzwilliam summons more rose petals.
I also got a 7.
All right, Megan, roll for Zahn.
Yep. 14.
Fuck.
Okay. So.
Plus strength. Sorry, 1. 15.
Sarathiel is pushed inexorably closer to Yastin, but Yastin kind of is watching Sarathiel and realizes that she's not super into this idea at the moment, so she takes a step back and kind of she looks at Sarathiel and she says, "Well, that's okay."
Sarathiel throws an elbow back into Zahn's stomach.
And Fitzwilliam, you catch a side glance from Yastin for the rose petals, and she looks like she kind of throws you a half wink.
Fitzwilliam smirks and gives a tiny, tiny head nod.
I'd also like to put Sarathiel also gives Yastin a little bitty smile, like half sorry for my friends and half like I
Maybe later.
yeah.
You get the warmest, gentlest smile back.
Cute. I ship it.
And then she says, anyway, what were you saying?
I don't rightly remember.
We were talking about the apprentices. Black blood.
Oh, yes.
So anyway, what were you saying?
Just
Black blood recent.
What about, are you telling me you faced these three? Did you kill them?
2 of them.
3.
So yes, we did kill them.
What happened to their bodies?
Evaporated.
They vanished.
Yeah.
Oh, they're not dead.
Well, shit.
good.
Where did you find these? And what were they doing?
One was rallying goblins.
No. The three,
With the blood.
Corrupted ones that you said you just saw recently.
They were
those ones.
chasing. Wait, what was he? A goblin? A halfling? Halfling? What was he?
No.
Right, the guy they were chasing.
The gnome. They were coming for you.
Oh, then what was the gnome doing there?
Also coming for you.
Okay, I apparently misinterpreted that entire situation.
They didn't know each other, but the gnome had come to kill you.
They were as assassins to come after us.
Why would they do that?
Good question.
And Fitzwilliam takes this moment to pull out the second amulet. Because we have the second.
Boom! Don drops the mic and takes a step backwards.
So you're telling me that these 3 corrupted ones came after you for these amulets?
As far as we know.
And that the people you got these amulets off of were what? Doing things to disrupt Elios, to disrupt the dwarves? What were they doing?
One was disrupting Elios, one was disrupting the dwarves.
Were there any common links between the two?
They were
They're
both
both evil.
horribly cursed and evil.
Huh.
They both had magical diseases, I believe. Didn't Turnick have?
Yeah, he had the robot blood thing.
I think they both had blood-linked diseases.
Fascinating. She scribbles a note down on a piece of paper behind her on one of the tables, and then she turns back to all of you and she says, well, I really have to look into this, and I do have some work that I must get done, but you all are welcome to stay in this tower for as long as you want, and come see me anytime. And she looks at Sarathiel and she says, I'll be waiting on that answer about dinner. You actually also hear at the same time a knock. And a young boy's head kind of pops through the doorway, and he scampers up to Sarathiel and hands her a note.
Oh.
It's
And
sealed in crimson wax, bearing the impression of a hand.
Okay. Is this something like I'm expected to read right now?
You don't know. The messenger scurried off after he handed it to you.
Okay, then I'm gonna wait until I'm outside the room to read it.
Yastin has kind of like delved back into whatever she was working on before. Maybe she's looking up links or things of that nature. So.
She didn't want the amulets back?
She has both of them still. She didn't give them back.
It's William.
I still have them, so I guess...
No, you handed them to her.
No, I pulled them out.
I thought you handed them to her.
But I do leave them on the table as we leave.
You're not certain she noticed at the time, so she seems
That's
very
okay.
engrossed.
She'll find them eventually.
Okay. Okay, so you guys leave the chamber.
As Sarathiel makes sure she leaves last, and as she's kind of like halfway through the trapdoor, she says, Yasin,
Yes.
I think I'd like dinner. And then she just like immediately fucking leaves. She does not wait for anyone. Like, she is too embarrassed to stay and wait for the rest of the response, so she just fucking outs.
So you leave through the trapdoor. It's the same tingling sensation you had when you entered. And about 4 or 5 seconds afterward, you see Yastin's coppery head stick back through the trapdoor, and she says, well, I'll come find you around 7. I know this great place right here in the city.
Okay. And she's like super blushing.
And then she pops her head back into the chamber, and you don't see her. And there's a letter waiting for you.
Okay, I open the letter.
Okay. You open the letter, and it's basically a very quick scrawl. And it's from Captain Alnith, and it basically says that you are all welcome to stay in the tower. You have lodgings within the headquarters of the Red Hand, and it requests that when Sarathiel has time, she come speak with the captain. And she is, of course, welcome to bring her companions when she does so.
No, of course she is.
Come at once if convenient. If inconvenient, come anyway.
Yep.
That's kind of the tone Sarathiel gets. Like, the captain doesn't make requests. She makes what looks like requests that are expected to be carried out immediately.
Okay. Did it say where?
You assume in the headquarters. It doesn't have a location, so that's where you assume.
Down 4 flights of magical moving escalator.
That is correct.
Yeah. Sarathiel kind of rubs her hand over her forehead and says, I think we have to go see the rest of the Red Hand.
Okay.
For a moment.
We have another appointment.
Yes.
So you guys step back onto the escalator, and it moves in reverse and takes you back down the flights of stairs, and you step off at the headquarters, and you enter. And, these are nice headquarters. They're furnished. There's, no paintings or anything, but it's a military headquarters that's existed for a long time, so it's nice. You see several empty rooms with beds, and you see a training room and things like that. And as you pass Sarathiel, Eoweth looks at you and she says, welcome back. And you pass Yados, and he looks at you and he says, it's been a long time. You pass Maito, who doesn't say anything to you, Sarathiel, but you just hear this like clomping of boots that progressively picks up speed, and suddenly a 4'9" tall human just flies down a hallway at you and like tackles you in a hug.
Sarathiel hears the footsteps, and like in muscle memory, like she doesn't quite recall what's about to happen, but like muscle memory, she braces herself.
All right, so Maito just like flying hug tackles you. Roll strength with advantage to see if you stay upright.
Oh, please fail.
Sorry to disappoint. That's an 18.
Okay. However,
That's 20.
No. So you like put a foot out behind you and you brace and you like catch this very short man as he flying hugs you. And he says, Sarathiel, I'm so glad you're back. It's been so long. I'm so glad you're back. Where have you been? We need to talk. Let's have a drink. Where have you been? We have so much to catch up on.
Sarathiel kind of laughs and she's like, slow down there. One at a time.
He's the only one talking to you right now.
I mean, yeah, but like one question at a time.
Oh. Maito looks at you and says, "But there's so much to talk about! How long are you sitting here? Am I going to see you again? Can we get a drink? We need to catch up. Are you going to see the captain? The captain needs to talk to you. That's what the captain said. The captain was looking for you, but the captain didn't know where you were, and the captain wanted to talk to you, and the captain doesn't like waiting because the captain is a very impatient woman, and she said she wanted to talk to you, and I didn't know where you were, and I told the captain, but the captain wants to see you."
No?
Over my toe's mouth. Gently.
He just keeps talking underneath your hand.
Sarathiel just looks at Zahn and just like, "That's not going to work.
What?
We tried. We've tried."
Damn it.
I can hit him in the head with a hammer if you want.
Sarathiel kind of puts her hands on Maito's shoulder and says, "Yes, we're here to see the captain. It's good to see you haven't changed."
Thanks for listening to this episode of A Conspiracy of Gods. If you're looking for more episodes, you can go ahead and check out the other videos on this channel or the playlist, which contains all of the episodes thus far. And remember to please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content and want to see some more of it. If you're looking for more information about the world, any maps, anything of that nature, go ahead and check out aconspiracyofgods.weebly.com. And, as always, thanks for listening.